Welcome to Sessions in Sobriety. This is my first time ever doing this, and it is not natural by any stretch of anybody's imagination. It's kind of weird, as a matter of fact, if you ask me honestly. But anyway, we're going to do the first run on this, and I couldn't really think of any better way to start out except by maybe interviewing myself based on questions that I've been asked in the past. Based on my journey in sobriety and recovery. Mine was a little bit different than a lot of people's, but still applicable in my world. But the purpose of this channel is going to be to get other people's perspective, experience, and wisdom based on what they've encountered over the time that they've been in recovery and or sobriety. Anyway, we'll just get started. First question: how long have you been in recovery? Okay, as of today, May 1st of 2025, I've been sober about 6.5 years. I decided to get sober on August 24th of 2018. I was halfway through my second 12-pack of the day, which was pretty normal. And me and the woman who puts up with me were sitting on the back patio on the swing, and something just clicked in my head and said, you know what, I'm going to finish off this 12-pack, and I did. And I think I'm done. I think I'm just going to be finished with it. And her being a kindergarten teacher, she said, oh well, I wish you the best of luck. Very supportive individual. I love her to death. And I haven't had a drink since. The first week was a little rough. Wasn't torturous, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. If that makes it any easier to understand, because I was to the point where I was drinking 12 to 18 beers a day, and still going to work, still functioning. But when I went to bed at night, it wasn't because I fell asleep; it was because I passed out. So that's basically that kind of in a nutshell. What led you to seek recovery? I've been in and out of AA for 35 years. I was a 35-year drinker and a 40-year smoker. Also quit smoking 2 years ago. It's always been something that I knew was a problem for me. Any time that something screwed up, happened in my life, alcohol was right there by my side. It was freaking crazy. That was the one commonality that I was able to pull out of that. It didn't take a whole lot of effort. It was pretty obvious, but it was always something I knew that I was going to have to do at some point. I just wasn't exactly sure how I was going to pull it off, and I basically just came to the conclusion that I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, and it was time for me to quit. So it was always there. I just didn't quite know how to get there, especially because of the intertanglements of alcohol and social life and this, that, and everything else. So that's basically what it is. So what has been the most challenging part of your recovery journey? Like I said, for me it was pretty easy because I finally got to a point where I wanted it 100%. I wasn't at 99%. I didn't have that 1% for failure. It was a done deal that I was ready to quit because I was tired of all the damage that I was doing, not only in my relationship with my wonderful girlfriend, but with friends, and the collateral damage and the money, and it's just, oh God, it's horrible what that stuff does to your life. So basically, that's the answer to that question. What support systems do you have in place? I have quite a few friends who have decided to go alcohol free. Some of them are, you would classify in recovery. Due to their addiction and dependence on the alcohol, and some other drugs, as a matter of fact. But primarily it's been alcohol. That was always my vice. I went through my drug thing early in my 20s. That's been gone for a long, long time. But I have a lot of friends who have either decided that, this really isn't that good for me, even though I don't do it a lot, so I'm just going to go alcohol free. And that's working out really well for them. So I have that support side. I also have, old drinking buddies that, got sober, and, we've been in touch, and these people are like brothers to me. So I still have friends who drink. But they, at the same time, they still support me in my actions. Some of them say I'm the smartest one in the bunch, but and take that for whatever you may. What are your strategies for preventing relapse? Me personally, I don't have any real strategies because I don't have any amount of want to go back to consuming alcohol. I have developed a level of animus towards it that I can't really explain how that came into fruition. But I have no ambition. If I go to social events and people are drinking, I don't feel any need that I have to drink. I'm completely comfortable in not drinking. And at my age, you tend to get very comfortable, not complacent, but comfortable in situations such as this. So it's not something that I worry about. Again, I'm one of the lucky ones. How has recovery changed your life? Do any of these seem relevant to your situation? I'm not sure exactly what the second part of that question means, but I'll focus on the first part. How has recovery changed your life? Well, the first place that you see it is in your bank account. That's the big one. After a couple of weeks, you go and check your bank account balance. It's like, whoa, where did all this come from? So that's what really that's the one that really stood out for me. Sleep, and it took me about a week for my sleep patterns to get back to normal, or what most people would consider normal. They weren't normal for me because, like I said, I didn't sleep. I passed out. There's a distinct difference. Clarity of mind starts coming back after about a week and a half. You start remembering a little better. It's not great, but it's better. It actually starts happening, fairly quickly, but it's gradual. Your brain just starts to process things more normally, I guess, if that makes any sense. When I sleep well. I sleep clean. When I wake up in the morning, I'm not tired, obviously. I'm clear-headed. I can pop up, boom, boom, boom. I've for years now. I'm 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm up, I'm ready to roll. I can get to the office fairly early. I can get work done before the phone starts ringing, and then once I leave the building to go on service calls, my day just becomes very dynamic and busy. And that's another thing you got to do too whenever you first go into recovery. You got to keep yourself busy. Even more so with quitting cigarettes. Be willing to go on walks and things of that nature. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. This is my first video, like I said. This is not natural. This took a lot of effort psychologically on my part to get in here and do this without basically feeling like an idiot. But the first go around is not too bad. Hopefully the second one's going to be a little easier. Even just in this very short video, I do feel more comfortable talking to you on the other side. So if you don't mind, like and subscribe, and just come along with the journey and watch the channel grow. I hope everybody has a great weekend, and don't just swing for the fence. Knock it out the park. Have a good day.